6 months after the Devourer ship incident, the space station New Sol had become the busiest place in the galaxy. Ships from dozens of different species crowded the docking bays, their crews eager to see the solar system that had accomplished the impossible. Admiral Jiwan Park, recently promoted after the successful defense of Earth, floated in the main conference room reviewing reports from across human space. The room had been expanded twice to accommodate delegates from the Galactic Council, but it still felt cramped when all the alien representatives gathered together. Director Minho Kim entered carrying a fresh pot of coffee and a stack of translation devices. The aliens had learned to appreciate human beverages, though most of them still couldn't understand why humans needed caffeine to function properly. The Zephyrian delegation arrived this morning, Minho reported, pouring coffee for both of them. They're requesting a full briefing on our early warning network design. Add them to the list, Jiwan said, sipping her coffee. How many is that now? 47 different species want to implement human-designed defense systems, Minho replied. And that's just this week. Dr. Kwan says she's running out of teaching materials. Through the conference room windows, they could see the constant traffic around Earth. Alien ships of every imaginable design shared space with human vessels, creating a bustling marketplace of ideas and technology. What had started as a protection mission had turned into something entirely different. The conference room doors opened and Admiral Vextar entered, followed by representatives from 12 other major galactic powers. The alien admiral moved with more confidence now, no longer treating the humans like children who needed protection. Admiral Park, Vextar said, settling into his specially designed chair. The Galactic Council has finished reviewing your proposal. And, Jiwan asked, though she could already guess the answer from the aliens' expressions. The Council has voted unanimously to accept Earth's offer of defensive partnership, Vextar announced. The Sol Defense Network will be expanded to provide early warning coverage for the entire galactic sector. Dr. Yunji Kwan entered the room carrying a tablet full of technical specifications. As humanity's leading expert on alien psychology and technology, she had been working non-stop to design defense systems that could be adapted by other species. The engineering challenges are significant, Dr. Kwan said, taking her seat at the conference table. Most species don't have the industrial infrastructure to build system-wide defense grids. We'll need to start with smaller, modular installations. What about the power requirements? Asked Commander Zelthar, a representative from the crystalline Nexari species. Human defense systems require enormous energy inputs. We've solved that problem, announced Dongyun Oh as he entered the room. The young engineer looked tired but excited, carrying a small device that hummed with barely contained energy. Miniaturized stellar collectors, each one can power a planetary defense grid using only ambient radiation from the local star. Admiral, Vextar leaned forward to examine the device. This is what you use to power your Sol defense grid? A much smaller version, Donghyun explained. The full system required collectors the size of small moons. These are only about as big as your standard space station. Only as big as a space station, muttered Representative Quindar from the Insectoid Hive Collective. Humans have a unique perspective on scale. Taehyung Choi entered carrying his ever-present folder, now expanded to include detailed files on 47 different alien species and their defensive capabilities. The real challenge isn't technical, he said, taking his seat. It's psychological. Explain, Admiral Vextar requested. Most galactic species have been comfortable for centuries, Taehyung said, opening his folder. They've forgotten how to think defensively. They build for efficiency and elegance, not survival. Dr. Kwan nodded. We've had to completely redesign human defensive doctrine for alien implementation. What works for a species that evolved under constant threat doesn't necessarily work for species that evolved in safety. For example, Jiwan said, human defense systems assume everything will go wrong at the worst possible moment. Alien systems assume everything will work as designed. Both approaches have merit, Admiral Vexistar said diplomatically. Yes, but only one approach keeps you alive when facing unknown threats, Minho replied. We've learned to build systems that can adapt to situations we never anticipated. Solman Bay entered the conference room, her uniform showing the insignia of the new Galactic Defense Coordination Office. The Outer Rim colonies have reported 3 more encounters with unknown entities this month. Energy signatures don't match anything in our databases. New threats, G1 said. How are the early warning networks performing? Perfectly, Soman replied. The human-designed sensor arrays detected all 3 incursions at least 6 hours before they would have been visible to conventional scanners. Local defense forces had time to prepare and coordinate responses. Representative Kethva from the Aquatic Depth Dwellers spoke up. The coordination protocols are the most impressive aspect of human defensive doctrine. Our species have fought independently for millennia. Learning to work together is challenging, but necessary, Admiral Vextar added. The Devourer ship incident proved that some threats are too large for any single species to handle alone. Ariam Jung entered carrying a communication device that was broadcasting urgent signals. Admiral, we are receiving emergency transmissions from the frontier sectors. Something big is happening near the Galactic Rim. Put it through, G1 ordered. The main display activated, showing a star map of the galaxy's outer edge. Red indicators marked the locations of distress signals, forming a rough line across several star systems. Unknown entities moving in coordinated formation, came the voice of a hegemony commander. They're not responding to communication attempts. Energy signatures are completely unfamiliar. Scale? Soman asked. 17 ships, each approximately the size of a battlecruiser. But their design is unlike anything in our databases. They appear to be growing. Dr. Kwan studied the sensor readings. Biological technology, similar to what we saw with the Void Hunters, but far more advanced. Time to contact with inhabited systems? Admiral Vextar asked. Approximately 48 hours at current speed, the remote commander replied. Jiwan looked around the conference table at the assembled alien representatives. 6 months ago, they had come to offer protection to a primitive species. Now they were looking to that same species for guidance on how to handle galactic threats. Recommendations, she asked. Deploy early warning satellites along their projected path, Donghyun suggested. If they're biological, they might be attracted to specific types of energy or matter. Send a diplomatic probe first, Admiral Vexitar added. They might be lost. Or confused rather than hostile. Prepare defensive positions at all likely target systems, someone said. Hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Classic human doctrine, Taehyung observed with approval. Dr. Kwan was studying the biological readings more carefully. These entities show signs of collective intelligence. If they are hostile, they'll likely coordinate their attacks perfectly. Then, we coordinate our defense perfectly, G1 said simply. All species, all fleets working together using human defensive protocols. The Galactic Defense Network, Minho said. Our first real test. Admiral Vextar stood up from his chair. I will coordinate with the Hegemony Fleet. We can have ships in position within 12 hours. The Nexari crystalline matrix can provide computational support, Commander Zelthar added. Our network processing power might help predict their movement patterns. Hive Collective scouts are already moving to intercept, Representative Quindar announced. We will provide real-time intelligence updates. One by one, each alien representative offered their species' unique capabilities. The meeting that had started as a formal review of defense proposals had turned into an active war council. This is how it should work, G1 said, watching the aliens coordinate their efforts. Different species, different strengths, working together against common threats. It's what you've been teaching us for 6 months, Admiral Vextar replied. That survival is more important than pride, and that cooperation is more effective than domination, Dr. Kwan added. The conference room buzzed with activity as the alien representatives contacted their home fleets and prepared for coordinated action. Communication networks that had been designed for human use were quickly adapted to carry dozens of different alien languages and data formats. Admiral, Ariam said, monitoring the communication traffic. The unknown entities have changed course. They're moving directly toward the Nexari home system. Estimated time to arrival? Admiral Vextar asked. 36 hours. Commander Zelthar's crystalline form brightened with what might have been worry. My people have no experience with warfare. Our planet's defenses are designed for space debris, not military action. Then we'll defend it for you, Jiwan said without hesitation. That's what the network is for. Human ships cannot reach the Nexari system in time, Admiral Vextar pointed out. Human ships don't need to, Soman replied. Every species in the network now has human-trained tactical officers and human-designed defensive systems. Captain Hyunwoo Park stood on the bridge of the UES Harmony, watching the stars through the main window. Today was the most important day in human history. After 50 years of watching Earth from far away, the aliens had finally decided to talk to humans. The ship moved slowly toward the meeting place near Jupiter. Hyunwoo felt nervous but excited. He had trained for this moment his whole life. Behind him, his crew worked at their stations. They all knew how important this was. "Captain, we are getting close to the station," said So Young Choi from her seat at the communications desk. She was the best at talking to aliens that Earth had ever trained. Her job was to make sure nothing got lost when humans and aliens tried to talk to each other. "Thank you, So Young. How are our guests doing?" Hyunwoo asked. "The alien ships are already there. I count 12 different types of ships. They must be from many different worlds," she said, looking at her screens. Yoonji Kim looked up from her science station. She was smart, maybe the smartest person Hyunwoo had ever met. If anyone could understand alien technology, it was her. "Captain, I am reading some very advanced energy sources from those ships. Their technology is far ahead of ours." "That is what we expected," Hyunwoo said. "Remember, we are here to be friends, not to fight." The space station appeared in front of them. It was huge, much bigger than anything humans had ever built. The station looked like a giant wheel spinning slowly in space. Lights covered its surface like stars. "Captain, we are being asked to dock at Port 7, So Young said. "Take us in, Jae-sung," Hyunwoo told his pilot. Jae-sung Lee was calm as always. He had been flying ships longer than anyone else on the crew. His hands moved over the controls like he was playing music. The Harmony moved toward the station very slowly and carefully. As they got closer, Hyunwoo could see other ships docked around the station. Each one looked different. Some were long and thin like needles. Others were round like balls. One ship looked like it was made of crystal and seemed to glow with its own light. "Amazing," Yoonji said quietly. "Each ship must be from a different world. Look at the different designs." The docking was smooth. Jae-sung was the best pilot in the human fleet, and he proved it again. The ship settled into place with barely a bump. "All right, everyone," Hyunwoo said, turning to face his crew. "This is it. We are about to meet beings from other worlds. Stay calm, be polite, and remember that we represent all of humanity today." They walked through the ship's corridors to the airlock. Hyunwoo wore his best uniform, the dark blue one, with gold trim that showed he was a captain. The others wore their dress uniforms too. They wanted to look their best. The airlock opened, and they stepped onto the station. The air smelled different, clean, but with a strange metallic taste. The gravity felt normal, which was good. The aliens had made sure humans would be comfortable. A being was waiting for them. It looked almost human, but taller and thinner. Its skin was pale blue, and its eyes were larger than human eyes. It wore long robes that seemed to move by themselves. "Welcome," the being said in perfect English. "I am Ambassador Velthar of the Zentari Empire. We have been waiting to meet you." Hyunwoo stepped forward and bowed slightly. "I am Captain Hyunwoo Park of Earth. Thank you for this meeting. We are honored to be here." Velthar smiled, or at least Hyunwoo thought it was a smile. "Please, follow me. The others are waiting." They walked through corridors that seemed to be made of some kind of smooth metal. The walls glowed softly, giving light without any lamps that Hyunwoo could see. Everything was clean and perfect. "Your station is beautiful," Yoonji said. "Thank you," Velthar replied. "It was built for meetings like this. When new species join the Galactic Confederation, this is where they first meet the others. They entered, a large room with a round table in the center. Around the table sat beings that looked like they came from dreams. One looked like a giant cat that walked on two legs. Another seemed to be made of living rock. A third looked like a tree but with eyes and a mouth. "Friends," Velthar said, "may I present the humans from Earth?" The beings all looked at the humans with great interest. Some made sounds that might have been greetings. Others just stared. And being that looked like it was made of water spoke first. "They look much like you, Velthar." "Are you sure they are? A different species?" "Very sure," Velthar said. "Humans developed on their own world, far from ours. But you are right. We do look similar." Hyunwoo and his crew sat down at the table. The chairs changed shape to fit them perfectly, which was surprising but comfortable. "We have been watching your people for many years," said the rock-like being. Its voice sounded like stones grinding together. "You have grown much in that time." "We hope we have grown wise enough to join you," Hyunwoo said. "That is what we are here to decide," Velthar said. "Your species shows great promise. You have learned to travel between stars. You have stopped fighting wars on your own world. You have begun to work together as one people." So Young leaned forward. "We want to learn from you. Earth has many problems we hope you can help us solve." "And we hope to help you," said the cat-like being. "But joining the Confederation is not simple. There are rules. There are responsibilities." Hyunji asked, "What kind of responsibilities?" "Peace, first of all," Velthar said. "Member species do not fight wars against each other. We have had peace in our part of the galaxy for over 1,000 years. We want peace," Hyunwoo said. "Humans have learned that war brings only pain." "Good," said the tree-like being. "But peace is not just about not fighting. It is about working together, sharing knowledge, helping each other grow." For the next several hours, they talked about many things. The aliens asked about human history, human science, human art. They seemed very interested in everything about Earth. Jae-sung mostly listened, but when they asked about human technology, he spoke up. "We may not be as advanced as you, but humans are good at solving problems. We find new ways to do things." "Yes," Yoonji added. "We would like to share our knowledge with you, and learn from your knowledge too." As the day went on, Hyunwoo began to feel hopeful. The aliens seemed friendly. They asked hard questions, but they seemed to like the answers they got. But he noticed something. Sometimes the aliens would look at each other in ways that seemed like they were talking without words. And sometimes, especially Velthar, they would look at the humans with expressions that Hyunwoo could not understand. When the meeting ended, Velthar walked them back to their ship. "This was a good first meeting," he said. "We will talk more tomorrow." "We look forward to it," Hyunwoo said. As they walked back onto their ship, Yoonji whispered to Hyunwoo, "Did you notice anything strange?" "What do you mean?" "The way they looked at us sometimes, like they were studying us." "They probably were," So Young said. "We were studying them too." But as Hyunwoo lay in his bed that night, he thought about Yoonji's words. There had been something in the aliens' eyes, something that made him feel like they were seeing more than just humans trying to make friends. He told himself he was just nervous. This was the biggest moment in human history. Of course he would feel worried. But deep down, a small voice in his mind whispered that maybe the aliens were not telling them everything. Maybe this meeting was not just about friendship. Hyunwoo pushed the thought away. Tomorrow would bring new talks, new hope for humanity's future among the stars. He had to believe that the aliens wanted the same thing humans wanted: peace and friendship across the galaxy. Outside his window, the alien ships waited in the darkness of space, their lights blinking like watching eyes. The alien fleet waited for humanity's surrender. They had given humans 1 hour, and now that hour was almost over. On the command ships, alien admirals expected to receive messages of defeat and submission. Instead, something strange happened. All human ships went dark. All human colonies stopped transmitting. All human space stations became silent. "What is happening?" demanded Admiral Crixtall, commander of the fleet surrounding Earth. He looked like a giant beetle with sharp claws and many eyes. "Sir," his communications officer said, "all human signals have stopped. They are not responding to our messages." "Are they surrendering?" We do not know, sir. They are just silent." Admiral Crixtall felt annoyed. Other species usually sent long messages begging for mercy at this point. But humans had just stopped talking. "Send boarding parties to their largest ships. If they will not surrender properly, we will take them by force." The boarding parties found something unexpected. The human ships were empty. Not abandoned, but empty. Life support was running. Food was still warm in the kitchens. But no humans were anywhere to be found. "Sir," reported the boarding team leader, "the humans are gone. All of them. Their ships are running on automatic systems." This was not normal. Crixtall had conquered dozens of species, and this had never happened before. Check the planets. Check the space stations. The reports came back the same from everywhere. Human cities were empty but still running. Human factories were working but with no workers. Human farms were growing food but with no farmers. "Where did they go?" Crixtall asked. His officers had no answer. The truth was that humans had not gone anywhere. They were hiding. In the week since Dong Hyun's message, every human settlement had prepared for this moment. On Earth, millions of people had moved into underground tunnels and caves. On the Moon, colonists had sealed themselves in hidden chambers deep beneath the surface. On Mars, entire cities had moved into natural caves in the planet's crust. It was the largest disappearing act in history. An entire species had vanished while staying exactly where they were. Dr. Mi-young-ryu was one of the hidden humans. She was a scientist who studied alien life forms, and she was hiding in a secret laboratory built inside an asteroid. With her were 30 other scientists and engineers. "How long can we stay hidden?" asked one of her team members. "As long as we need to," Mi-young said. "But hiding is not our plan. Hiding is just the beginning." She pointed to a table covered with alien devices. "While the aliens were talking to us about peace, I was studying every piece of their technology I could get my hands on. Now it is time to use what I learned." The aliens had made a mistake. They thought humans were primitive. They had not been careful about keeping their advanced technology away from human scientists. They had let humans see their energy weapons, their shields, their faster-than-light engines. They did not know that humans were very good at copying things and making them better. "This device," Mi-young said, holding up something that looked like a metal cube, "is an alien computer core. It controls their ship systems. I have figured out how it works." "What are you going to do with it?" "I am going to teach it to work for us instead." Across human space, similar scenes were happening in hundreds of hidden laboratories. Human scientists and engineers were taking apart alien technology and rebuilding it. They worked day and night, driven by desperation and anger. Commander Woo Jin Choi was hiding on a moon of Saturn with 200 other soldiers. But these soldiers were not planning to defend anything. They were planning to attack. "The aliens think we are defeated," he told his team. "They think we are cowering in fear. But humans do not cower. We adapt." His soldiers had been busy. Using alien technology they had captured. They had built new weapons and new armor. They had learned to move through space without being detected by alien sensors. "Tonight we begin the real war," Woo Jin said. "We show them what humans do to bullies." That night, 3 alien patrol ships disappeared near Jupiter. They did not send distress calls. They did not explode. They simply vanished as if they had never existed. The next night, 5 more ships disappeared. Then 10. Then 20. Admiral Crixtall was becoming angry and confused. "How are they doing this? Our ships are armed and shielded. Humans have no technology that can threaten them." "Sir," his intelligence officer said, "maybe the humans have help from another species." "What other species would dare oppose the Confederation?" "Do not know, sir, but something is destroying our ships." The truth was simpler and more frightening. Humans were using the aliens' own technology against them, but they were using it in ways the aliens had never imagined. Yejin Park had been a merchant captain before the war. She had carried cargo between human worlds in a simple transport ship. Now she commanded a fleet of ships that should not have been able to exist. Target acquired, her tactical officer reported. Alien supply convoy, 12 ships. Are our ships ready? Yes, Captain, all ships report ready for phase shift attack. Yejin smiled grimly. Phase shifting was something humans had invented by combining alien technology with human creativity. It let ships become ghostly and pass through solid matter for short periods. All ships, begin attack run. Her fleet appeared to fade away like ghosts. The alien convoy's sensors could not detect them anymore. Then the human ships reappeared inside the alien formation, their weapons firing at point-blank range. The alien ships had shields, but shields were designed to stop attacks from outside. They did not work against attacks from inside. In 30 seconds, the entire alien convoy was destroyed. Yejin's ships faded away again before alien reinforcements could arrive. This was the new human way of war. They did not meet alien fleets in open battle. They struck like lightning and vanished like smoke. Back on the Jupiter station, Velthar was receiving reports that made no sense. Half the alien fleet was gone, but there had been no major battles. Human resistance seemed to come from nowhere and disappear into nothing. How many humans are we fighting? He asked his military advisors. We do not know. It could be a few thousand. It could be millions. We cannot find their main fleet. That is because they do not have a main fleet, Velthar said slowly. They have turned their entire species into an army. This was something the aliens had never faced before. When they conquered other species, there were always soldiers and civilians, armies and cities, military targets and civilian targets. But humans had made every civilian into a potential soldier. Every merchant ship was now a warship. Every mining station was now a military base. Every scientist was now a weapons designer. The aliens controlled human space, but they did not control the humans. So Young Choi was still on the Jupiter station, but she was no longer a prisoner. The aliens thought she was, but humans had learned to move through the station's walls using phase shift technology. She spent her time listening to alien communications and sending information to the human resistance. She also did something else. She talked to aliens who were not part of the military forces. Many of us do not agree with this war, a young Zentari told her quietly. We think the Confederation is making a mistake. Then help us, So Young said. We cannot fight our own people. You do not have to fight. Just refuse to help them. Make them do this alone. Word began to spread among the alien civilians. The humans had not attacked any non-military targets. They had not hurt any alien civilians. They only fought against the Confederation's military forces. Some alien species began to question whether humanity was really the threat the Confederation claimed they were. On his secret research station, Dong Hyun was working on his greatest creation. The quantum communication network had been just the beginning. Now he was building something that would change the war completely. Computer, he said, run simulation number 407. Simulation complete. Success probability, 96%. Dong-hyun smiled. Soon the aliens would learn that kidnapping humans had been the worst mistake in galactic history. The network he was building would not just connect human minds, it would connect human knowledge. When one human learned something, every other human would know it instantly. When one human invented something, every other human would be able to build it immediately. Humanity was about to become something the galaxy had never seen before, a species that shared every thought, every discovery, every innovation across every world in real time. The aliens had wanted to cage humanity to prevent them from becoming dangerous. Instead, they had forced humanity to evolve into something far more dangerous than the aliens could have ever imagined. 3 months had passed since the first meeting at the Jupiter station. Hyun-woo thought things were going well. The talks continued almost every day. The aliens shared some of their knowledge about space travel and medicine. Humans shared their own discoveries about computers and energy. But Yunji was worried about something. She spent most of her time studying the star maps the aliens had given them. These maps showed all the places where humans could build new homes on other worlds. "Captain," she said one morning, "I need to show you something." Hyunwoo came to her station. The main screen showed a map of nearby star systems. Red dots marked places where humans already lived. Blue dots showed places where the aliens said humans could go. "Look at this pattern," Yunji said, pointing at the screen. "All the worlds they marked for us are far from the main trade routes. And look here." She pointed to several yellow dots. "These are worlds that would be perfect for humans. Good air, good water, good soil. But they are all marked as forbidden zones." "Maybe those worlds belong to other species," Hyunwoo said. "I thought so too. But I checked the records they gave us. These worlds are empty. No one lives there, no one owns them. But humans are not allowed to go there." Hyunwoo looked at the map more carefully. Yunji was right. The best worlds were off-limits. The worlds humans were allowed to settle were far away from everything else. "There might be a good reason," he said. "We should ask them about it." I tried. Every time I ask about those worlds, they change the subject. That afternoon, Hyunwoo met with Ambassador Velthar. They sat in the same room where they had first met, but now it felt different. Less friendly somehow. "Ambassador," Hyunwoo said, "my science officer has some questions about the worlds you have marked for human settlement." Velthar's large eyes seemed to grow even larger. "Oh? What questions? Why are humans not allowed to settle on the worlds marked in yellow on your maps? They seem like good worlds for us." "Those worlds are special," Velthar said after a long pause. "They are protected for scientific study." "All of them?" "There are more than 50 worlds marked that way." "Yes, all of them. The Confederation takes scientific protection very seriously." Hyunwoo did not believe this answer, but he did not want to seem rude. "I understand. But perhaps humans could help with the scientific studies? We have good scientists." "That will not be necessary," Velthar said quickly. "Human scientists are not ready for such work yet." Something cold formed in Hyunwoo's stomach. "Not ready? What do you mean?" "Humans are still a young species. You need more time to develop proper scientific methods. We have been doing science for hundreds of years." "Yes, but you have only been in space for less than a century. Other species have been studying the stars for thousands of years." Hyunwoo left the meeting feeling troubled. He called his senior officers together that evening. "Something is wrong," he told them. "The aliens are not telling us everything." So Young nodded. "I have noticed it too. When I try to talk to some of the other alien species, Velthar always interrupts. He says he will handle all communication with humans. And their technology sharing has been very limited," Jae-sung added. "They show us small things, but nothing really important." "I think they are testing us," Yunji said. "But not the kind of test I thought. I think they are trying to decide something about us." Back on Earth, Admiral Boram Song was having her own worries. She commanded all of humanity's space forces, which was not very much compared to what she had seen of alien ships. But she was a good soldier, and she always prepared for trouble. "Sir," her aide said, entering her office, "we are getting some strange reports from our deep space sensors." "What kind of reports?" "Ships moving toward our space, lots of ships. They are not broadcasting identification signals." Boram looked at the reports. The numbers made her feel sick. Hundreds of ships were moving toward Earth and the human colonies. Maybe thousands. How long until they reach our space? At their current speed, about 6 hours, Boram thought quickly. "Send a message to Captain Park at the Jupiter station. Tell him we need answers from the aliens right now." But when the message reached Hyunwoo, it was too late for questions. Velthar was already coming to find him. "Captain Park," the alien said, "please come with me. There is something important we must discuss." Hyunwoo followed Velthar to a different room, one he had never seen before. This room had no windows and only one door. Velthar stood between Hyunwoo and the door. "I am afraid there has been a change in plans," Velthar said. "What kind of change?" "The Confederation has decided that humans are not ready to join as full members." "Why? What have we done wrong?" "You have done nothing wrong. But you are Dangerous. Dangerous? We came here in peace. We offered friendship. Yes, but we can see into your minds, Captain. We can see what humans are capable of. You have great potential for both creation and destruction. Too much potential. Hyunwoo felt cold fear creeping up his spine. What are you saying? We are saying that humans must be protected. From yourselves and from others who might use your abilities for evil. Protected how? You will be moved to safe worlds where you can live in peace. Your dangerous technologies will be taken away. Your population will be limited to prevent problems in the future. You mean you want to put us in cages? We prefer to think of it as protection. Hyunwoo stepped toward the door, but Velthar did not move. And if we refuse, then humanity will be eliminated as a threat to galactic peace. At that moment, alarms began ringing throughout the station. So Young's voice came over the communication system. Captain, there are ships everywhere. Hundreds of alien ships around Earth and all our colonies. Velthar smiled sadly. I am sorry, Captain, but the decision has been made. Your people have 1 hour to surrender completely, or our fleet will begin removing the threat. Hyunwoo felt anger burning in his chest. You lied to us. You never wanted to be our friends. We wanted to be your protectors, but you would not have agreed to that willingly. You are right. We would not have. On Earth, Boram watched her screens as alien ships surrounded every human world. Her entire fleet could not fight even a tenth of the alien forces. Admiral, her communications officer said, we are receiving a surrender demand. Put it on the main screen. A new alien appeared. One Boram had never seen before. This one looked like a giant insect with too many eyes. Humans of Earth? It said. You will surrender all weapons immediately. You will prepare for relocation to designated worlds. You will submit to Confederation authority. You have 1 hour to comply. Resistance will result in extermination. Boram looked around her, command center. Every face showed the same thing, fear, anger, and determination. Sir, her tactical officer said, what are your orders? Boram thought about her children at home. She thought about all the humans living on colonies across space. She thought about humanity's dreams of reaching the stars. Send a message to all human ships and colonies, she said. Tell them we do not surrender. Tell them to prepare for war. Sir, we cannot win against such odds. Maybe not, but we are human. We do not go quietly into cages. Far away on a research station near the edge of human space, engineer Dong Hyun Kang received the surrender demand. He was alone on the station except for a small crew of scientists. He looked at the message for a long time. Then he walked to his special laboratory, the one where he had been working on a secret project for the past 5 years. Computer, he said, activate the quantum communication network. Warning, the computer said. The network is still experimental. Full activation may cause system overload. Do it anyway. Activating quantum network. Connection established with all human ships and colonies. Dong Hyun sat down at his keyboard and began to type. His message would reach every human in space at the same time, faster than light itself. To all humans, he wrote, the aliens think we are pets to be caged. They think we will roll over and surrender when they show us their big teeth. They think we are weak because we wanted peace. They are about to learn what humans really are. They are about to learn why we conquered our own world before we learned to fly. Show them what happens to anyone who threatens human freedom. He sent the message and then began working on something else. Something the aliens would never expect. The aliens had made a terrible mistake. They thought humans would fight like other species they had conquered. They thought humans would surrender. When faced with impossible odds, they were wrong. 6 months had passed since the aliens first demanded humanity's surrender. What had started as a simple military occupation had become a nightmare for the Galactic Confederation. Admiral Krixtal stood in his command center, staring at reports that made no sense. His fleet had started with over 2,000 ships. Now he had fewer than 800. And he still had not seen the main human fleet, because there was no main human fleet. Sir, his communications officer said, We are receiving another message from the Confederation Council. Krixtal did not want to hear it, but he had no choice. The image of Supreme Chancellor Mordoon appeared on the main screen. Morden looked like a giant crystal that had learned to think. "Admiral," Morden said, "the Council is not pleased with your progress." "Sir, the humans are not fighting like any species we have faced before." "Explain." "They have no central command, structure. They have no main fleet, they have no capital to capture. Every human seems to be a separate army. That is impossible. No species can coordinate without central command." "The humans can, sir. Somehow they are sharing information instantly across their entire space. When we attack one group, every other group knows about it immediately and changes their tactics." This was true. Dong Hyun's quantum network was now fully operational. Every human ship, station, and colony was connected. When human fighters developed a new way to destroy alien ships, every other human knew how to do it within minutes. When alien forces tried a new strategy, word spread through the human network faster than light. Before the aliens could finish their attack, humans everywhere had already prepared countermeasures. "Sir," Krixtal continued, "I request more ships. Many more ships. You already have the largest fleet in Confederation history, and the humans are destroying it piece by piece." The truth was worse than Krixtal admitted. The humans were not just destroying alien ships. They were capturing them and learning from them. Every captured alien vessel became a human ship with better weapons and stronger shields. Yoonji Kim was leading one of the most important projects in human space. From her hidden laboratory deep inside Europa, Jupiter's moon, she commanded a team of the best human scientists in the galaxy. "Show me the latest results," she said. Her assistant, a young engineer named Taeho, brought up a holographic display. "We have successfully reverse-engineered their shield generators, their faster-than-light engines, and their energy weapons. But we have also improved them." "How much improvement?" "Our versions are 30% more efficient and twice as powerful." This was humanity's greatest advantage. They did not just copy alien technology, they made it better. Human creativity combined with alien science produced weapons and defenses that the aliens themselves could not match. "What about the special project?" Yoonji asked. Taeho smiled. "The psychic dampener is ready for testing." The Zentari's greatest weapon was their ability to read minds and control thoughts. It was how they had controlled the Confederation for so long. But Yoonji's team had found a way to block psychic abilities completely. "Begin production immediately. Every human ship and station needs these devices." Across the galaxy, the war was turning in humanity's favor, but not in the way wars usually turned. There were no great battles between massive fleets. Instead, alien forces simply began disappearing. Supply convoys vanished in the night. Patrol ships stopped reporting in. Communication relays went silent. The aliens found themselves alone in the darkness of space, cut off from each other and afraid of shadows. Captain Hyunwoo Park was no longer a diplomat. He was now Admiral Park, commander of the Human Resistance Fleet. But his fleet was unlike any military force that had ever existed. His flagship was a captured alien dreadnought that human engineers had rebuilt. It was twice as fast as when the aliens owned it, and its weapons could destroy ships that had once been invincible. "Admiral," his tactical officer reported, "long-range sensors detect an alien battle fleet approaching the Sol system." "How many ships?" 300, sir. It looks like they are planning a final assault on Earth." Hyunwoo smiled coldly. "Perfect. Signal all human forces. It is time to show the aliens what we have learned." The alien fleet approached Earth expecting to find a defeated planet protected by primitive human weapons. Instead, they found something impossible. The space around Earth was filled with human ships. Not the simple vessels the aliens remembered, but advanced warships that glowed with energy weapons and moved like living things through space. "This cannot be," Admiral Krixtal said. 6 months ago, humans had barely 50 warships, now there are thousands. His intelligence officer was studying the sensor readings. "Sir, those are not human designs. Those are our ships." "What do you mean?" "Those are Confederation vessels, but they are broadcasting human identification codes." The truth was even worse than Krixtal imagined. Humans had not just captured alien ships. They had captured alien shipyards and manufacturing facilities. They had turned the aliens' own industrial might against them. "Sir," his weapons officer said, "the human fleet is moving to attack positions. All ships, prepare for battle. Fire when ready." The battle began, but it was unlike any battle in galactic history. The aliens had superior numbers and experience, but the humans had something better. They had learned to fight like humans instead of trying to fight like aliens. Human ships did not line up in neat formations. They swarmed like insects, appearing and disappearing, striking from impossible angles. They used phase shift technology to attack from inside alien shield perimeters. They used gravity weapons that turned alien ships into twisted metal. Boram Song commanded the defense of Earth from the ground. Her job was to protect the planet if any alien ships broke through the space battle. "Admiral," her aide reported, "the space battle is going well. Our forces are destroying alien ships faster than they can retreat." "Good. But stay alert. This could be a diversion." It was not a diversion. It was the beginning of the end for the alien occupation. In space above Earth, Jae-Sung Lee piloted the most advanced fighter in human space. It was built from alien technology, but designed with human imagination. It could move through solid matter, become invisible to sensors, and fire weapons that could destroy ships 100 times its size. "Target the command ship," came the order from Admiral Park. "Understood. Beginning attack run." Jae-Sung's fighter faded from view and passed through the alien fleet like a ghost. When he reappeared, he was directly underneath Admiral Krixtal's flagship. The alien shields were designed to stop attacks from outside. They were useless against an attack from below, from inside the ship's own defensive perimeter. Jae-Sung fired once. The alien flagship exploded in a ball of fire that could be seen from Earth's surface. With their command ship destroyed, the alien fleet began to fall apart. Ships tried to retreat, but human forces were everywhere. Ships tried to surrender, but they had shown humans no mercy and received none in return. By the end of the day, the alien fleet was completely destroyed, but the real victory was not in space. It was in the message that Dong Hyun sent through the quantum network to every alien force in human space. "This is humanity. We offered you friendship. You chose war. We offered you peace. You chose violence. Now you will learn what happens when you threaten human freedom. Any alien military vessel found in human space will be destroyed. Any alien species that supports this war against humanity will be considered an enemy. You have 1 day to begin withdrawing from our space. After that, we will begin hunting you across the galaxy." For the first time in 1,000 years, the Galactic Confederation was afraid. They had thought humans were weak because humans wanted peace. They had thought humans were primitive because humans offered friendship first. They had learned that the most dangerous species in the galaxy was not the one that sought war, but the one that was very, very good at war when forced to fight. And now, humanity was no longer interested in peace.